On November 11th, I started this YouTube channel from absolute zero. 0 subscribers, 0 videos, 0 everything. And 26 days later, the channel was fully monetized. But not only that, once this channel got monetized, it only took 17 days to make $10,000 in ad revenue. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I did it. But first, this is not a get rich quick. This is also not a promo to my school community, right? Matter of fact, like I always say, don't buy that shit, right? Don't buy that shit. Try it yourself first, because YouTube it's not easy. You know, this takes a lot of hard work and consistency. And listen, in the last 8 years, I've launched countless YouTube channels. The majority of them failed, right? But when they work, I make a video about it and I show you guys. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Romayroh. I've been doing YouTube since 2018. And since then, I've made over $1.9 million across all of my YouTube channels. And I'm either the luckiest person in the world when it comes to YouTube, or I might be onto something. Who knows? So this is the YouTube channel. And since November 11th, it's gotten 3.2 million views, 4,700 subscribers, and it's made $10,131 in ad revenue. So as you can see from the first upload, it took this channel maybe about 16 days to actually start getting views. And this is where a lot of people fuck up, because they post 16 videos, they don't get views, and then they just assume it doesn't work. And it's important to note that you have to give the algorithm time. And then if I switch over to revenue, you can see it was making $0 a day, and then boom, huge spike, $1,290 the second day monetized. And I mean, ever since then, I've been making over $100 every single day. Now, to prove that this is real, I'm gonna go down to settings, then I'm gonna click on currency. I'm gonna switch this to Uruguayan peso, and you can see that the currency on the channel changes to $396,000 in ad revenue, which is not true, right? So if I go back down to settings and I change the currency back to USD, I click save, you can see that the currency changes to $10,131. For those of you that don't know why I did this, it's a very common thing for scammers to change the currency of their YouTube studio. So they could obviously do videos like this or TikTok, Reels, whatever, and make you think that they're making a lot more than they actually are. Now, this is the most popular video on the channel. It got 745,000 views, and that paid me $2,726 with an RPM of $3.66. But okay, let's go ahead and get started. Well, the first thing I did is I chose a ghost niche, which is a niche that has 0 competitors on YouTube. Like I said in previous videos, nowadays YouTube is rewarding original content. So you want to post original content on YouTube. Now I know what you're thinking. No shit. But hear me out. When I say original ideas, I don't mean create something that this world has never seen, right? I'm not telling you to go out there and become fucking Steven Spielberg. What I mean when I say original ideas is to do something very basic, something that everyone on YouTube overlooked because it's that fucking basic. For example, make a YouTube channel about cities that are going to fix, you know, well-known shitty roads with potholes and stuff, you know, like in Vegas, in New York City, in California, these very, very known streets. Just cover updates about that. Or a YouTube channel that focuses on glasses, you know, and the companies and, you know, the cure for bad vision. Or a channel that talks about designer clothes or clouds or water bottles. Like I'm telling you, it can literally be anything. And let me show you this. So for this video, I launched 3 YouTube channels. This one right here was a pre-monetized channel that completely died. I started posting videos again on a very, very basic niche, which again, I will reveal later on this channel. But look at this. This channel went from making $200 a month to $3,494. And I also relaunched this YouTube channel here. As you can tell, I was consistently posting. I was reviving it because it was a dead monetized channel, and boom, worked almost instantly. And this channel also went from making just a few dollars a month to $2,439. Look how dead this channel was. So I started a YouTube channel from scratch that made $10,000 in the last 28 days. And then I relaunched 2 completely dead YouTube channels, and they also blew up. Of course, not to the same extent as the main purpose of this video. But again, the sauce is do something basic, bro. Yeah, when I reveal these channels, I promise you, you're gonna be like, wow, why didn't I think of that? Because if you really study YouTube and niches and competition, you're going to notice that there is almost nothing. Like nothing is really covered. Everyone's doing the same thing. And it goes back to the main point of this. YouTube and YouTube automation is still very early. We saw these channels become huge and successful, and we all try to mimic and copy them. And it turned into these huge packs of people all going towards the same niche and the same audience. But we're completely ignoring the most basic topics and niches. And listen, this contradicts a lot of what I've said in the past, but that's because YouTube has changed a lot. Ever since the YouTube algorithm started using Gemini, I feel like now it is more accurate than ever when it comes to finding your audience. I feel like you can post videos about anything. For example, start a YouTube channel about public transportation in New York City. If you post consistently about that topic, YouTube is eventually going to find your audience. And in my opinion, it's because of Gemini. Now, if you asked me that question 2 years ago, hey, Romayroh, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel in public transportation, I would have blocked you. But because the algorithm has improved significantly, today, I would say that that's a pretty good idea. And I think 2026 is gonna be the year where it's not only easier to start a YouTube channel, but I think it's the year where creativity is gonna come back to YouTube. But now let's talk about the second thing I did, and that was thumbnail formats. This is taking the thumbnail style of a successful YouTube channel and applying it to your niche. Now, I'm not saying go out there and start stealing thumbnails, okay, because you will be terminated for that. I'm saying take inspiration from their thumbnail formats. For example, this is a YouTube channel about trucks, obviously, and just by looking at his thumbnails, we can see a very clear pattern. Every thumbnail is identical in the format. That is the arrow, the text, the angle the truck is looking, the floor, all of that. Now let's go ahead and imagine that I'm going to start a YouTube channel about lawnmowers. If I was to make a thumbnail for one of my lawnmower videos, using this guy's format, it would look like this. It has the John Deere logo, it has the lawnmower, it has the arrow, obviously the ground is different, and it has the text. So if you're going to start a YouTube channel in a niche that doesn't exist, you don't have competitors, and you're thinking, okay, well, what type of titles and what type of thumbnails do I make? You can easily mimic successful niches, successful channels, and apply that to your own. That's like the biggest secret. But anyways, the third thing, and I think this is one of the most important ones, as of recently, I've noticed that the YouTube algorithm favors creators with a lot of authority. What that means is that if you're posting videos about random topics, one video is about public transportation, the second video is about lawnmowers, the third one's about trucks, the YouTube algorithm isn't going to know how to recommend your video or who to recommend it to. So logically, it's going to hold back from pushing your video to other people. But if you just post videos about lawnmowers and lawnmowers only, and your video script gives accurate information, specific dates, numbers, and they're all correct, the algorithm is going to see your YouTube channel as an authority. So when someone searches videos about lawn care or makes any random Google search about lawnmowers, Google and YouTube are going to feel comfortable pushing your video to them, right? Not just on YouTube, but also on Google, which if you want to become an authority, that takes me to number 4, and that's hallucinations. If you use ChatGPT, Claude, or any AI software to write scripts for you, you need to start putting more effort. The era of lazy YouTube automation is over. YouTube/Gemini, it got way too good. Okay, it can tell when a video is written with AI. If you're just copying your competitor scripts and rewording them, that's over, bro. You're gonna get hit. If you go on Twitter right now or X, you're gonna see a shit ton of people posting demonetizations, terminations, and that's because the majority of them did not adapt with the new updates. Now, here are the issues for you. If you tell Claude or ChatGPT to write you a 15-minute script about whatever topic, it will hallucinate, which means it's gonna give you fake events, fake facts, fake dates, numbers, whatever. And Gemini, YouTube, can see that in your video transcript. And these AI softwares do that because they're trying to reach, the word count for a 15-minute video. And a lot of people don't notice this. You can't just go on ChatGPT and tell it to write you a 15-minute script about lawnmowers, right? That's not how this shit works anymore. It used to, 2023, 2024, that was like peak. You could do whatever with AI. But now, YouTube also has AI. Now here's another thing. YouTube/Gemini is also trained to identify AI fingerprints. And that means it's able to identify specific words, phrases that AI softwares use. So in conclusion, don't have AI write the entire script for you. Now we have to use this as a tool. You have to put some human input into it now. But personally, for my videos, I like to use it as a script outline. And listen, I have a shit ton of channels, but I still sit there every day and it takes me 15 minutes per script to just kind of go through it, rewrite some things, change the wording. It's not that complicated. It's not the end of the world. If you want it bad enough, you'll do it. And for those of you that are interested in taking YouTube a little bit more serious, you can go ahead and click the link in my description or in the pinned comment. That's going to take you to my school community. Go ahead and check it out, see if it's for you. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. And that's pretty much it. Y'all have a good day.